You cite statistics in the book that show children laugh up to 300 times a day while adults less than 20.
This is actually a study that showed that, and I believe it's the explanation for why young people live so much longer than old people.
Other things you discuss in the book are some classic comedy tropes, such as slapstick, the origin of slapstick, things like that, and you end up talking about a goat bladder.
The term slapstick originally comes from Commedia dell'arte. They had only a few props, but one of them was a board with two wooden slats, which they used to hit people, and the person would fall down, and because it would make that noise, it sounded even funnier. And it was called the bataccio, which in English means slapstick. And when it was adapted to vaudeville in the 20s and 30s in America, they would use a goat bladder stretched on a board, which I am fine with, except I just don't like envisioning how they got it.
You also explain in the book how John Wilkes Booth waited for a specific laugh line in the play, what was it, Our American Cousin, before he fired at Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, well, Booth was, in addition to being a Confederate sympathizer, as most people could figure out, he was also a prominent actor. He used his fame to get into Lincoln's box during the performance of Our American Cousin, which was a well-known comedy of the time, and he waited for a specific line that he knew would get a laugh. And the laugh was, "Don't know the manners of good society. A, well, I know enough to turn you inside out, you sockticalizing old man-trap."
Sockticalizing?
Yeah, I was going to explain. So sockticalizing means manipulative, but my God, who wouldn't want to say sockticalizing? It's much more fun. It just rolls off the tongue. Booth waited until that line got a laugh, and then he fired, hoping the sound of the gunshot would be muffled by the uproarious laughter, and evidently he was wrong. People did notice that the President of the United States had been shot.
In one section you talk about how laughter was actually considered a bad thing at different times in history. A bad thing, laughter?
It was actually considered bad for most of history. It started with Plato and Aristotle, those hacks, and they claimed that laughter was bad because it indicated a moral failing on the part of the laugher. That is, that you would laugh at the misfortune of other people. This whole feeling that laughter was somehow an indication of a bad character lasted for hundreds and hundreds of years, to the point where many people derided it as, quote, the mind sneezing, quote, the hiccup of a fool, invariably injurious and sometimes fatal.
At the end of the book, you say pretty much that comedy is God.
Yeah, some people may consider that a bit of a leap, but the reason I think that is that comedy is directly related to spirituality, in that the key to laughter is surprise. And I say in the book that peekaboo is everyone's first comedy routine. The key to peekaboo is that it's a sudden, unexpected revelation. You're watching your mommy, where'd she go, where'd she go? Oh, there she is! Another version of that is a very different phenomenon called religious ecstasy, which all the saints had. They had this moment of blinding revelation. Well, that's frequently defined as a sudden, unexpected revelation, same as peekaboo. So the relationship between laughter and religious ecstasy draws a direct line between Joan of Arc and your baby cousin. But the other interesting thing is that what do we do in that moment of laughter? We're outside ourselves. We're somehow in touch with something larger. Same thing with religious ecstasy, where people feel they see God. And that's true of another phenomenon, orgasm, where we're out of ourselves. We're feeling pure bliss, pure ecstasy. And the relationship between laughter, religious ecstasy, and orgasm is something I would go into, but I really feel more comfortable if everyone involved has a few drinks.